Hello everybody, I hope you're doing good. This video may contain copyrighted images being used under the Fair Use Act for educational purposes. There was a 3-hour shit show on last night. Yes, Jaron, IPS, Morgal battling it out. Had Mike in there, I guess, or Bob, excuse me. Bob, I guess, was handler, I guess. Make sure this didn't get out of control and make their little cult look bad. Because, Jaron's not the brightest bulb of them all. But, the chat was moderated by IPS Wrenches. They were slamming Morgile, being nasty to Morgile. And then those same mods, if you said anything remotely bad about IPS or even hinted at it, you were kicked out of chat. So, this is the problem with this little cult. They got the same little wrenches running around that are IPS loyalists, and they're banning, anybody and everybody. They were even banning people that were donating money to Jaron, removing their message. One guy posted 555. Hey, we're going to ask about the airplanes. Where's the airplane? It was a shit show. It accomplished what they set out to do. It divided everybody. Let's move on. Here's Bob pretending like we're going to win against the media, even if they are going to humiliate us along the way.
And go ahead.
John, just out of curiosity, I don't know how we can not let the mainstream media, control the narrative, because they're the ones that are reaching millions and billions of people. So that's kind of the thing that we're at their mercy to do this. The best thing
is not to go to the media, because they're going to turn it around against you, and to think that you got the brains to outsmart them. Come on, Bob. Get real. You're not going to win. And you're going around claiming the Denver article was something great for flat Earth. It was anything but great for flat Earth. This media coverage is going to be anything but great for flat Earth. Let's move right along. Got a lot of bullet points. 102. Here we go.
Well and good now, but it wasn't even 3 weeks ago where you were basically saying that you're not really sure if the Earth's flat, and you won't say it's flat unequivocally. I just find it very troublesome and hard to believe that someone would come forward as a proponent for flat Earth unless they knew it balls to bones that the Earth wasn't a spinning sphere. And so I'm just curious as to, has something changed in the last 3 weeks, or?
No, I was making the point that a more readily defensible, intellectually secure position would be to say, I'm a shape agnostic, I'm a ball agnostic. Because to say it's flat unequivocally, yeah, I know it's flat, I know there's no curve, but I'm saying that I'm not married to a particular model. I can't show you a model. I can't 100% say this is a model that...
He's not married to a model, but he created the infinite plane society model, where the model is infinite. Infinite water, land, everything else. You're full of bullshit, IPS. You're a fraud. Just like the other 3 clowns in this video. Because Morgile quickly changed his tune as far as this rocket launch. Calling it, hey, a great idea. Let's move along. 131. This is a good one right here. Y'all are going to love this one. 131.50. Here we go.
Significant. What is your real name?
Well, there's a couple of reasons I don't disclose that. Mainly it's because, as you know, this topic is very controversial, and I don't want to subject people I care about to this. Like, my best friends, my family, they're not even close to this. They're totally CNN, Fox, and I'm not going to be the one to deliver that paradigm shock. I'll let them wake up with everybody else.
What a bunch of bull crap, man. They don't know about your satanic art and all that shit. Come on, man. Something tells me, I guarantee you, this guy's name isn't Jack Larson. That's a lie, too. That's his artist name. Just like actors have an actor's name. It's not their real name. Jack Larson is not his real name. There's no Jack Larsons that live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. None of the names he gave come back to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I was searching, researching on IPS. I found this. IPS bought something from a guy, I guess, and he left a review from this Jack Strange guy. And he's replying back to Jack Larson. Dear Jack, thank you for your review here on Amazon. When I read your Amazon review, it absolutely made my day. Since reading it, I've discovered you're an artist and seen a little of your work. Satanic work, that is. I'd like you to know that I am very impressed by it. Thanks again. P.S. I'm assuming that you and Lars Jackson are one and the same person. So, IPS using the name Lars Jackson also. And that name doesn't come back to Albuquerque, neither. It's all lies. So, I still submit to you all, he still hasn't been vetted with his real name. Nope. Let's move right along. That was, let's see, 134.47. Let's listen.
So, it wouldn't be surprised to see, no offense, but witchy Freemasons doing that sort of thing, because that's who's doing it. But,
Well, what happened is I took the crypto protagonist Illuminati shill, I made it into a T-shirt, and I made $65 in profit in the first 2 days. So I'm like, man, thank John for dinner and movie.
Do you see that, people? It's all about money. These people are businessmen, entrepreneurs. They're not truth seekers. They're not trying to educate you. They're trying to mislead you, trying to get money out of you. It's all about money. Even Jaren's wife in the background was laughing at that one. Because it's all about money. It's all about making a living off of you. Not getting the truth out about flat earth. Because you're not going to get the truth out about flat earth in the media. You have to go out there and do it grassroots style. On the ground. Without the media present. Let's move right along. 147. 15. Here we go.
Example
red
then.
flags, it becomes obvious to me.
Give me an example then, because if you've been studying it for years, give me an example of what he could be up to that would be government planned to come into a place where he's starting
Talking
to
about
speak out about
IPS.
flat Earth. He's making tons of tweets every day. He's got websites about it. So now what can happen from this point? Because this is where I lose contact. I say, no, they don't want people speaking about this. They don't want getting people with wrenches marching around with fepes. And so I want to know what you think could happen.
Did you hear that? Listen again.
Contact. I say, no, they don't want people speaking about this. They don't want getting people with wrenches marching around with fepes. And
They don't want people with wrenches marching around with female penises. Jaren,
speaking about
you're,
this. They don't
you're a
want getting
useful
people with
idiot.
wrenches, marching around
A
with,
very useful
fepes
idiot
and-
for this cult.
So I want to know what you think could happen. I lose contact. I say, no, they don't want people speaking about this. They don't want getting people with wrenches marching around with fepes. And so I want to know what you...
Let's move along. Oh, we're going to go to 202. Let's start it.
But really, to me, the biggest enemy we have is small-minded drama that you see. People taking like in the chat rooms, just attacking content creators, making it almost a risk just to speak your mind. Like, we should be having these talks with people we disagree with more often. I think it's far more productive than what we normally see. So Yeah, I'm not really too worried about it. I understand where you're coming from, and I just say, don't believe me, don't trust me. Just watch the results and understand that if something goes awry, it really isn't going to reflect on anyone except for those directly involved.
Mm-hmm.
And
Talking
you
about
have
IPS.
call it
I
an
think
S,
it
you can
will.
say I told you so.
Well, and I don't want to. I want to say, well, guess what? I was crazy. That's what I'd rather say. Is I would rather see this thing go off without a hitch. Honestly, I'd love to see him break his record. But I mean, I see him do like maybe a quarter mile or whatever, and the guy got hurt pretty bad. So I mean, I just think him trying to get up, what is it, a mile on the first one?
Morgal's completely flopped on this, man. He's getting support for this rocket launch. Hey, the guy went, 1,300 feet last time and got seriously hurt. It's all a bunch of crap, Morgal. You know it. You just don't want to say it because you will be uninvited from the convention. You're part of them. You're one of them. You're a shill. All this was designed to divide everybody. That's all. He's pro-rocket now for the flat earth. There's no proof Mad Max is in that rocket. He's not a daredevil. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. She's a fraud. It's a female at that. There's no proof he's in any rocket, ever. In fact, there's false claims made that he's NASA crew chief. Anybody can Google that. If you're a NASA crew chief, it's sort of like a football quarterback. There's there's going to be a record of you. There's no record of crew chief Mike Hughes. And Mike Hughes didn't jump the Grand Canyon like they claim he did. Bunch of fucking frauds. That's all these people are. Let's move right ahead.
And burn lawns, effing lives, and that sucks. So some people need an outlet. That maybe they need to go burn lawns. I don't know. I don't need to do that. But I just think that
Burn
I'm not
lawns?
worried about it, and I think
He's
that's
talking
the only
about
thing-
IPS
And
failing
again,
here.
we can all
Lying.
agree to disagree here. I think it's important that we all talk it out. I just want to get across that I still don't understand what could go so wrong, and what we're trying to protect people from. If people follow IPS down the road, and 6 months, a year from now, there are all these penguins with their wrenches going along, and then he turns on them and says it's a globe. If those people at that point say, "Oh, he's right, it's a globe," and they all go with him, then that's so be it. Then those people have not watched any of my videos, because there's nothing that can come.
What an arrogant prick Jaron is. I like to call him Jared because he reminds me of the subway guy getting a foot long up his you-know-what. You know, he's arrogant, man. These people didn't listen to me if they didn't believe the earth was flat. You're arrogant, Jaron. You're a useful idiot for this cult. A useful idiot for this cult, Jaron. Nothing more. Let's move on. 208. Got 3 more after this. 2 more bullet points. Let's listen.
He's doing it.
I
But he's
understand.
doing it.
I
You're not getting in
understand.
the rocket. I mean, I'm not getting in the rocket because I don't trust it at all. I would never do it.
Me
But
either.
this guy's getting in the rocket.
I'm not getting it
Right.
either.
So-
Honestly, I think he's nuts. But hey,
He
you
is
know what?
nuts.
There are people like that.
He is nuts. He flat out admits that he had a 30% chance of living, or 30% chance of dying on the first time he did it. So if you increase the distance,
Sure, it wasn't 33.
it might have been 33. He's got that MM right. You know, nobody.
Just a big... He's a fraud, man. This guy's not a daredevil. He's a fraud. He's a woman. Let's move right along. 206. You're going to love at the end here at what IPS says. Let's see. 226. 46. Close enough.
That we know we can prove these things. We know that. And John, I don't know. Did you hear that interview yet or Dave Weiss and I did with the NASA guy and the SpaceX guy? I don't
No,
know.
you never sent me a link. Is it on your channel?
No, I don't think it's.
Dave Weiss is a shill. We all know that. Controlled op. And Jaron thinks he's a big shot now because he got his lifelong interview with NASA. Do you know the NASA employee was an IT professional? It means he builds computer programs. Big deal. He's compartmentalized like everybody else at NASA. Knows very little. Probably isn't even invited to the launch pad to see the launches. The fake launches. And the SpaceX employee was a security guard. And they act like this is a lifelong interview they've been waiting for. And they start off the conversation with everybody explaining their background and their jobs. And here's Jaron. I was a manager at a drugstore for 15 years. I quit my job, went home, seen a video on flat Earth, and I quickly realized we live on a flat Earth. And and the guy goes, yeah. The NASA guy replies, yeah, I got laid off there one time a couple years back and went home, got on the computer and started going down the rabbit hole and realized I needed to go out and get a job. It was paraphrased something like that. But they just, belittle Jaron. So this big interview they did is just a big joke, really, when you look at it, when you listen to it. I found it rather uneventful. Didn't prove nothing. I think Jaron come out looking dumb. But anyways, let's move along. 2 hours and 51 minutes here. You're going to love this part. Gets real interesting, people. Stay tuned. You hear very little from IPS in this. Morgau runs his mouth. Jaron doesn't know how to moderate and stop it. But here's a little bit from IPS.
Is the intent of the media.
But always leads back to
Bob, I appreciate you being on. Do you have any questions for any of us at all? Anything at all?
See, I think we've covered everything I was expecting to cover for the most part. I mean, there's just so many topics that we brought up tonight, specifically about the media. I guess the main thing though here is that this is a new thing. What's happening right now with HBO, CNN, Denver Post. I think also ODD and Critical Thinking Always are going to be talking to Denver News 9. It's going to be live streamed on Facebook.
Really? ODD is going to be on the media explaining flat Earth after what he's been exposed as. This odd fellow. Very not good. Not good for flat Earth at all.
So there's this flat earther on YouTube that has a pretty good sized channel, 24/7 feed. He did a video recently on one of his 5 backup channels explaining his sexual assault charges. He gave you his real name and information, showed you pictures of his family, showed you pictures of himself in some bicycle gloves rolling joints like a freaking gangster. But on the bottom of that, he showed you this code right here. He told us, this is my real charge. This is what I was convicted for. Everybody else has it wrong. So, part D of this, the victim was under 15 years old. The actor was at least 4 years older. Part E, the victim was 15 to 17, and the actor was at least 10 years older. That's the only 2 options for that law. So if he's talking about groping on a 30-year-old when he was 17, he must have multiple sex offender charges. But either way, I didn't mention any names in this, so you're going to have a hard time claiming a privacy violation for this one. Have a good day, dude. Don't get butthurt. It is what.
And now you know why this is just bad news for flat Earth all around, people. Nothing good come out of this. People are more divided than ever. There were literally hundreds of posts against IPS. More posts against IPS than support he has. The way I see it, IPS has about 108-9 supporters. The rest are just trolls, hanger-ons. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this.